Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wake Up with Toastmasters. I am with we are with D115, District 115, where we serve Southern Nevada, a little part of Arizona, and a little part of Utah. We have our co-host today, Doris. Doris from Canada. Hi, Doris. Good morning. How are you?
Great. First snowfall today.
Oh my goodness gracious. Better you than me. And we have our guest, Adarsh, and he is from India, correct, Adarsh?
Yes.
Great, perfect. And we had a guest a week ago, or a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, also from India. And it was great to hear how Toastmasters is the same. It's the same program and everybody does it the same way. But of course, one thing that makes Toastmasters different is the experience of an individual and what they are achieving from Toastmasters. So Adarsh, tell us, what was your first Toastmasters experience? How was it? How long have you been a Toastmaster? So we'll first start with your experience and then how long you've been a Toastmaster.
Thank you for the questions. However, I would also love to start with how I started my Toastmasters journey. The first time I came to know about Toastmasters was through Facebook. The reason was it has been 1.5 years of pandemic. I used to attend public offline seminars previously. However, 1.5 years of lockdown fully at home, I was unable to attend physical meetings. So I thought it's been a long time, I should try physical meetings soon. And I came to know about this Toastmasters through Facebook, and I thought about attending a Toastmasters session, which was near my home. It was offline session. So first session, my experience was, oh my God, this much experienced people, very good at speaking. And I look like a rookie LKG student in front of all of them. We had, and in that club, we had the option of attending the club as a guest 3 times. So the second time I was asked that table topics, impromptu speak. Before saying about I was asked impromptu, that day, what I did was, instead of staying at the front chair, I went behind. I noticed there was a tall guy sitting there. So I sat behind him and I kept my head down so that the Toastmaster does not see me. However, the Toastmaster found me and asked me that impromptu question. First few times, that first time was really tough. My heart was beating. I was dancing, and few ladies also commented. I saw others that your foot was like doing the dance steps that usually the ladies do, that traditional dance. And that was an unforgettable moment for me. However, after 2 to 3 times, I got used to this. I found Toastmasters to be a very friendly place. I was able to make friends. I loved the networking. I felt I have improved my communication skills. I'll say that with an example. Previously, when people used to phone call me, I used to speak softly. And the response I got from the lady was, "Hello, madam." And they thought I was a lady. That was a comment that I always used to get. After attending this hour, my sound has got better. I can speak with bass, I believe. And after that, I started attending a lot of online events. And how I found online events was, I started searching on Facebook, Toastmasters, for example, Toastmasters 20th November. The next day I would search Toastmasters 20th November 2022. The next day I would search Toastmasters 21st November 22. Soon it became an addiction. Right now, Toastmasters is an addiction for me. I attend at least one Toastmaster event a day. And big big appreciation to sites such as eventbrite.com, ecspeak.org, and social media sites such as Facebook, which helped me attend a lot of online Toastmaster session. It has given me a lot of friends too. Today I'm very comfortable and I love Toastmasters. I live for Toastmasters. For me, Toastmasters is life. It's heaven. It's my addiction.
Wow, that's so cool. What a wonderful journey you've been having so far. Can you tell me about the clubs that you belong to?
Currently, I belong to two offline Toastmasters clubs namely Trivandrum Toastmasters and Anandapuri Toastmasters. Along with that, okay, that is my answer to your question. Other than that, I also attend few online Toastmasters as a guest. In the next month, I plan to be a member of 3 online Toastmasters clubs.
Wow. Now, I know you and I both belong to the Witty Birds. The Witty Birds are situated in the UK. It's strictly an online club. And I know you've been very involved in the Witty Birds. Tell me about the Witty Birds.
BT Bird's experience, in short, has been fabulous. One word for that, it's a very safe environment, all positivity, all positive people. I have not experienced anything negative in and at BT Birds. I have attended 15 BT Birds events so far, and 22nd November, I'm going to attend the 16th, and so far it has been great. I have not seen any negative part in BT Birds. It's so supportive. And last week in the sense, this previous Tuesday, there was an event that there was a there was a happening where I was Toastmaster of the day. My heartbeat used to pump so fast, beat and pump so fast when I see the list of unassigned roles. I saw that there were 6 unassigned roles. General evaluator was not available. Table topic master was not available. Table topics evaluator was not available. And general evaluator was not available. Surgeon data terms was not available. However, once the meeting started, the BT Birds member Gail initiated and asked members, can you take this role? And within 20 seconds, 6 roles were filled. And that is the beauty of Toastmasters. And this is not the first experience for me. Previously, also, I have attended another Toastmasters event where there was supposed to be 2 prepared speech speakers. However, shockingly, the 2 prepared speech speakers did not show up. And I'm smiling because what happened there was 2 members had to do impromptu speech as prepared speech. And later the evaluator asked, these people have done great prepared speech. And the speaker mentioned, sir, this was not a prepared speech. This was an impromptu speech. And that day I invented a new word, impromptu prepared speech. And the evaluator also gave a comment. If you have done this much great for an impromptu speech, you could have excelled very much during a prepared speech. So that's the beauty of BT Bird's experience.
You were cool
Thank you,
as a
Doris.
cucumber. You were cool as a cucumber and organized things so well. And that's one thing about Toastmasters. We do not want to wing it during meetings all the time, but sometimes things just happen. And it really shows the training of Toastmasters, how people can just jump in and say, I'm going to do a 7-minute speech. Not very many people out in this world can say they'll be willing to do a 7-minute speech in front of other people on the spot. So it really does prepare you. So I noticed that our host Jennifer is back. Back to you, Jennifer.
I just want to throw my router away because I have been having problems with it. And of course, during the process or during our show, which I'm really glad that Zoom has allowed somebody to automatically become co-host instead of dropping the whole thing. I went immediately onto Facebook just to make sure that we were still on. And the big thing I heard, or the last bit of part of his introduction about his journey, was that he thought Toastmasters was heaven. I didn't think I could find anybody else that would love Toastmasters as much as I do. So that is great to hear. Now, I didn't hear the part that how long have you been a Toastmaster?
I've been a Toastmaster for 6 months. I started my journey in June 2022. Now it's 6 months.
Wow, that's impressive. You speak very well and very fluent, and so that's a great testimony to Toastmasters. Now, 6 months, are you an officer of any of your clubs?
No, I'm not an officer of any of the clubs.
Okay, perfect. And do you aspire to be an officer?
Yes, I aspire to be an officer. For the past 2 days, I read articles about the important roles that you could take as part of a Toastmaster, and I thought that moment, later period in the life, we should not have a regret. Oh, I spent this much time, however, I did not take this role. I believe, not believe, I should be taking any of the roles soon. I've also received invitations such as, okay, you should be taking that club PR, public relations role, such as things. I would love to do that. However, I wish to join 2 to 3 more clubs, and so I would love to contribute to most of the clubs, not just single one or two, not just single club,
And how many clubs do you currently belong to?
2 clubs.
2 clubs. Great, perfect. And you want to be more. Now, the BPPR, that's my passion. I want to say being social is my jam. And and if you ever need any help, or we can conspire together on the role once you become one, I'm sure that you will be a very good ambassador for your clubs. So I look forward to seeing some of your work out there on the social medias. So you did find a Toastmasters club on Facebook. Was it a friend, or was it Toastmasters International, or was it something that you were doing and you just arbitrarily just pounced upon it?
It was my effort. I just searched Toastmasters. I learned about it.
Wow. See, and that's a testimonial to why we need to be on social media, correct? Because of the fact that there are people that are searching. Are you searching for public speaking? Are you searching for communication? Are you searching for leadership? And you will find any of those things on social media because of the hashtags. But for your clubs, you have to be very, very visible. And look, you get a member such as Adarsh, which is pretty amazing. Now, my next question would be, so you desire to be a vice president of public relations. Now, are you aware of the district and how the grand scheme of Toastmasters International? Are you aware of the upper parts of Toastmasters?
Are you asking about that hierarchy, like vice president education, president, such as?
I'm actually talking about district director, quality growth director, and program quality director, if I said that right.
No, yes, no, I'm not aware about that. I have heard these terms, however, I have no clue about what that role generally means. For example, area director, district director, such
Yes.
as that.
Yes, great. Well, you will learn, which is great. I went to visit a club yesterday as a division director, because I am a division director in our district. And it was kind of interesting because I'm like, oh, I'm your division D director, and this is your area D1 director. And not knowing that people are not aware of who we are, I was just doing my normal thing and had to explain, though, who we are, that we live in Las Vegas and we're part of this bigger hierarchy of Toastmasters International. And they were so appreciative that we came to visit them, because they were not aware of what else goes on with Toastmasters with our district. So it was pretty cool to hear that. So, and to be able to explain who we are. So that's pretty cool. Now one of the questions that we usually ask to, how has Toastmasters benefited you in your career?
It has benefited me in ways such as my interpersonal skills have improved, and I used to be hesitant to speak a lot, not lot, speak much with people. I used to go and just do my work and just sit silent. However, I also understood the way that communication should be. Today, 1 hour after 2 hours, I'm delivering a speech on understanding your communication. It's level 3, first one about communication. So that's mentioned about the parts of communication that we need to be aware about, direct, such things. So there also Toastmasters has helped me. I was not aware about such things. I was aware about that, what do you call that, passive, aggressive, and assertive. That was the only thing that I was aware of till today. However, this last Toastmasters training which I have taken and the speech that I'm going to deliver today, it's about communication and how to improve the communication. And it's made a main point that there is no one sort of communication that applies to all situations. You need to adapt your communication according to the situation. So for example, for one situation, this kind of communication applies. For one situation, this applies. You cannot apply this type of communication to that situation. So that's my answer to it.
You make me so proud. A lot of people, when they come on and we talk about their journey and their career, sometimes you don't hear that they do apply it to their actual career, that they're just going through the motions of being a Toastmaster. And that's one of the things, the program does work, and for you to grow and that you're aware of your growth, it's pretty amazing, and it makes me proud to hear that. Doris, do you have any other questions?
Sure, I do. Now, I've heard a few speeches from you, Adarsh, but Adarsh, tell me, what are your favorite topics to speak about? What is that message that you want to give to the world?
The message that I would love to give to the world is, first, attend Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a safe place that everyone communicates. There is no, people used to have that wrong feeling, okay, only experts come here and talk the thing. And that's a message that I wanted to give. I also wanted to share a 30-second experience. It's an experience based on it's a personal experience. I believe, okay, it's a personal experience. Every now and then I receive comments from my mother. Adarsh, what are you doing? I always give that reason. I need time to prepare for this speech, so I cannot come to come and get your things done now. And then she asked at 4 o'clock in the evening, she asked, are you free now? Can you come now? I said, no, I have another speech. Then she asked at 8 o'clock in the evening, she asked, are you free now? And then I say no. And then she asked me, Adarsh, are you studying for IAS examination? IAS examination is the highest level of a tough examination that we have in our country. So she asked me, okay, you have finished your post-graduation, so what is this? Are you attending any exam or something? Do you get any money out of this? So this has been a question that I have been receiving. And I shared this with one of the distinguished Toastmasters in USA, and he replied, Adarsh, this is not your problem alone. I have also received such such questions. So that day I understood this is not a regional issue that I am facing. This is an overall Toastmasters issue.
What an interesting journey. I'm loving this.
And he has humor.
Absolutely. And you often speak about some of your hobbies, and what's one of your favorite hobbies?
One of my favorite hobbies, not hobbies, one of my favorite hobby is collecting perfumes and using them on different occasions. My perfume hobby started in 2009. I started collecting and currently I'm having 64 perfumes in my collection. I use this on different occasions. I also received questions from ladies. Is this to attract the ladies? The answer is no, it's out of my passion. I write reviews on perfumes, which occasion it could be used, etc. That's my first addiction. And from the second addiction is Toastmasters. I cannot leave a day without Toastmasters. And your theme is perfect. Wake up with Toastmasters. I wake up and first thing that I search on mobile is Toastmasters event and that particular date on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Have you seen our show before? Have you run across the Wake Up with Toastmasters before?
I have not experienced Wake Up with Toastmasters before. This is my first experience. Thank you to Toastmaster Doris for this opportunity.
She is great. I was bragging about her yesterday about how she is all over the world talking to other Toastmasters and getting to know them. She's has that curiosity of what other Toastmasters, other countries are doing. And she's brave for doing that, to go to different countries and become members. So I think that takes a lot of courage to actually do that. So good job, Doris.
I think it's part of me not wanting to get on a plane yet, so I'm doing everything virtually. I've not been on a plane yet. I will be soon.
I love it. Now, there was another question that was going across my mind when I was listening to you, Adarsh, and I cannot think of it right now. My brain is, I went to bed late because the meeting that we went to ended at 9 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock is my bedtime, so I didn't get home until 10:30. So my brain's a little fried this morning.
I have a meeting at 11:30 today, and I have attended meetings at 3 o'clock in the morning. My mother used to ask me, "Are you crazy?" 3 o'clock in the morning, because it's US time there, and it's India time here. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Holy moly, that is a lot.
That is called dedication and commitment, because remember in Toastmasters in the Kitchen, we actually had a guest from India, and I think it was around 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Because we meet at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and that was cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Now, when you go to you're visiting clubs now instead of joining, but you're visiting certain clubs at different times. What is, besides loving Toastmasters, what else do you hope to gain when you're visiting these other clubs, Adarsh?
What I have gained by visiting multiple online clubs is I have gained that multicultural differences. For different nation, people speak the different way, they respect the different way. I also had this experience where our Toastmasters International President, I hope I don't face any problem for saying this, our Toastmasters International President, Matt Kinsey, on one of his events, the date was mentioned incorrectly. It was mentioned October 2023. So I asked the organizer, I see the date is mentioned 2023 and you have posted this in August 2022. Is this a mistake or is this actually correct? 2023, the registration starts now, and he accepted that it's a mistake. And I informed this to President McKinsey also, and Matt's response was, he thanked me for that, and his response was, "Thank you, sir." There also, what I meant to say is that difference in culture. In the US culture, I believe the use of sir, it's a way of politeness. Mainly in our place, the sir is used to describe only the higher authority people, not the lower authority.
Oh, wow. And you learn and things that you do learn from visiting different cultures, which again, I applaud you as well because of the curiosity that you have with the different cultures. And it definitely makes a difference when, when you're in an international, we're Toastmasters International, but a lot of us, we stay in our little cliques and we don't grow. And between you and Doris and learning the different cultures, and I think Doris designed our greeting when we opened up our meeting, and it wouldn't even dawn on me to say, be aware of that we have different cultures and be aware of how you say things, because it may be offensive or it may mean a completely different meaning in another culture. So we have to be aware of hand gestures and what we actually say. And my hand gestures are all over the place, so I hope I'm not offending anybody.
And more importantly, more than what you say, how you say becomes more important.
Yes, absolutely. So our time is almost winding up. Doris, do you have any other questions? Doris is a good interviewer.
Well, we've received so much information. It is so wonderful. Adarsh, that you're here, a fellow world traveler, and you've been traveling around the world. Tell me, where was your first international Toastmaster meeting? Somewhere that you had never been before outside of India that you spoke in a speech?
Question.
My first international Toastmasters online speech was at Susquehanna Toastmasters meeting. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. The spelling is Susquehanna. Susquehanna Toastmasters Club. And that happened at morning 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock in the morning.
And which country was that?
And that was in US.
Oh, in the US. Okay.
Yeah, maybe it was in Wisconsin.
Mm.
So kind of broke up a little bit. All right. So 5 o'clock in the morning, going to a different one and in the United States. And you are with Whitty Bird in the Ukraine. Is that the way? Correct?
No, UK.
UK. Not Ukraine, UK, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that has to be very interesting because of the way that the English is spoken. Is it a little different than the way that the Americans speak English? That's to both you and Adarsh, Doris and Adarsh.
It's the same, just an accent. We all have accents, so it's the same.
I always thought there was something that was different wordings that
we all have our different lingo.
Yeah.
This Sunday when I was talking about Newfoundland and all the different phrases there, so everywhere in the world, yeah, there is some different phrases in the UK, British sayings, yes. And that's the fun of it. When you go visit international clubs, you get to know these phrases and the culture, and it's pretty exciting.
So Adarsh, what is the one thing that you would tell somebody if somebody was passing by and they see that they're on the show and they're like, oh, what is this all about? What is the one thing that you would tell a prospect or a guest or visitor who's watching this, a viewer who's watching about Toastmasters?
Are you asking about this show?
Well, I'm asking, what would you tell somebody who's watching, who's not a member yet of Toastmasters?
I would inform that member to join Toastmasters as soon as possible and do the payment. And I would mention that it's a safe place. You can improve your communication skills, presentation skills, even the body language skills, gestures, and the vocal variety. Now that you have asked that question, let me say this also. My experience as well as what I have heard, I am not a person of great vocal variety. However, I've received a lot of comments and advices from evaluators. You need to improve your vocal variety. And what I have read is I've read a lot that many people say that Asians do not have that great vocal variety, and we need to train ourselves a lot to improve our vocal variety. However, in the US, you say London and other places, I've witnessed that their vocal variety is amazing. First vocal variety, the pauses are also amazing, and the in our country the rate of speech is faster. So if the audience is at another location, like I mentioned about the multicultural differences, they would not be able to grasp that very fast. Now, coming to the point, my advice or recommendation to guests would be, please join Toastmasters. It has been 6 months of regret for me. Only issue is getting questions regularly from parents. You are not paid. Are you studying for any hard exam? What is the thing behind it? Are you getting addicted to another thing? So my advice, leave that aside, come here, enjoy. It's a great platform. And Zoom is also, Zoom, you asked me about my hobbies. Zoom is my best friend now, because for the past 6 months, I have traveled to Australia, US, US, Saudi Arabia, Korea, Thailand, Malaysia, and all these free of cost. And thanks to Zoom for that.
Wow, that is very impressive. So on that note, time flies when we are having so much fun. And I really appreciate you coming on our show today, Adarsh, and telling us about your experience. I hope that you actually share this with your other clubs, and that you share it with you on your Facebook feed as well, because you've done an amazing job on it, and it's a great testimonial, I'm sure, to the program. So on that note, we are going to say goodbye. It is Wednesday. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day, and we will see you on Wake Up with Toastmasters myself next week. But don't forget, we're here Monday through Fridays with various hosts, and yeah, and we'll see you again next week. So have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Doris.
That's what they say
Bye.
in Britain.
And I have
Ta-ta.
another prepared speech in 2 hours time.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.